explained to him that I was still new at being a hobo. He said I didn't have good sense. But he did tell me how to get into the freight train yard, though. He said to walk straight down the road and keep looking to the right until I see a train track. Then go get between the rails like a locomotive and follow it straight on back. Well, I did that, and that put me right there in that freight train yard, just like he said, circumventing that guard. But it was way past dark. It was about midnight when I got up in there. The first boxcar I found with an open door, I climbed on up in there and unrolled my sleeping bag out on the floor. Now that was the first time I felt like a genuine hobo. The feeling didn't last long though. Well, I went to sleep and slept like a log, and it was daylight when I woke up and looked out the door. Now, I didn't think that train had moved while I was sleeping, but I wasn't really sure. I could have been in Memphis for all that I know, so I climbed up on top of the boxcar to get a better view. Well, I shouldn't have done that, because that wasn't too bright, standing on top of that boxcar in those railroad bulls plain sight. Well, needless to say, I didn't get to ride the boxcar off the freight train yard that day, but I did find out I was in the same place, because I remembered the tattoo on that big burly guard's ugly face. Well, they bawled me out real good, but they didn't press charges on me. They cut me some slack after I gave them a line of talk and promised to leave there and never come back. Now, being an honorable hobo, buddy, I sure was a trying. I done gave up begging, cheating, and stealing. I ain't giving up lying. I went back. Well, I was so disgusted and frustrated, I was almost in tears. And I needed some moral support from some of my peers. But where do the hobos stay? Ain't no jungles around there, 'cause Tattoo had runs us away. Well, I got escorted out through the main gate, and I was so hungry it had been almost 2 days since I last ate. I just started walking down the road, and there's a convenience store there and a delivery truck with the door open wide. So I moseyed on over and took a peek inside. Now, hobos don't beg, cheat, or steal, 'cause that's again the rules. And I felt like a mechanic who lost his tools. Now this hoboing and this new way of life, well, it was getting kind of grim. And I thought back to the man I used to be, and sort of wished I was still him. But I told old Sally, old right-bag Sally, that I was going to be a pro. So I kept on keeping on being an honorable hobo. But now, I did take some snack cakes out of that truck. Some that was laying loose. But I didn't steal them, 'cause I left in my shoes. Yeah, buddy, I was a barefooted hobo on the outskirts of town, in a weeded area alongside a convenience store, hiding and all hunkered down, with a bag full of snack cakes and plans that all fell through. But all the time I needed, I reckon, to figure out the next best thing to do. I just had to hide there until that driver left, and those bugs and mosquitoes was eating me alive, and I was uncomfortably close to what I believed was a beehive. So I went to plan B, and that was to repeat what I did the previous day. Wasn't no problem getting back in the freight train yard, 'cause now I know a way. So I kept peeking through the weeds until that driver got gone, getting ate up by chiggers, and hoping them bees would leave me alone. Then I got up from where I was resting and walked away from all those bugs and insects a pesting. Started walking down the street. Now remember, I was walking with my bare feet, and I kept looking to the right, and when I saw that train track, went and got between the rails like a locomotive and followed it straight on back. Yeah, buddy, I went back. You know, the first lesson I learned about boxcars was to stay off the top, 'cause that's a sure way to get caught by a railroad cop. The second lesson I learned, I believe, was that summer sun would make them things hot as a firecracker and awful miserable inside there for a boxcar hijacker. But I had me a jug of water and that bag full of snack cakes, and I went ahead and toughed that heat out all day and stayed there all night, 'cause I was wanting to get to Memphis, no matter what it takes. And then, along about 8, 9 o'clock next morning, that train still hadn't moved, and I was in pain. I was a-hurting so bad, I was starting to get the shakes. So I had to climb down off that boxcar, and I stumbled across them old railroad tracks over that old metal building and disposed of some used-up snack cakes. And when I came back around the building and started back across the tracks, standing right there was Mr. Tattoo. Now, what do you call that? Deja vu? Well, I got arrested and put in a cell. Now, this was the 18th time I got thrown in jail. It was a familiar place, and a ride back into town by the cops, 'cause old Tattoo Face